Welcome back, Jerome, sir.
Yeah, back online.
Yes, sir. We have, before we start, I would just like to introduce you, our correspondent, the founder, Nurul Amin, sir.
Yeah.
Over to you, Amin, sir.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good
Jerome, sir,
afternoon.
it's
How are you?
very, thank you, sir.
Nice meeting you.
Great honor to have you with us, sir. It's indeed
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
rare opportunity, and we are extremely happy to have you with us this afternoon.
Great to know that you are doing such work.
God's grace, sir, that we get chosen to get some work or the other. We'll be greatly, looking forward to the opportunity when we can invite you personally, sir, to our school.
Sure. I'd love to come there. I've been doing a lot of research on the school, seeing the website, gallery, labs, books.
And Amin, sir, Jerome, sir, has seen all the 16 video recordings, previous recordings of the sessions completely from the start till the end.
Not really.
No.
Not really.
Very nice of you to see some, sir. We look forward
Were
to
you
your...
ever in my class?
No, there is no. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to be in your class. We always see you. We look forward to your advice, sir, for your directions and.
Sure. We'll definitely have a longer chat, personal interaction sometime.
Excellent. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes, Jerome, sir. We are going to start the session now. We have with us Sabira Miss also, who has done the back end work. Get the boys ready for this session. Mashallah. Sabira Miss, can you just introduce yourself?
Good evening, sir. This is Sabira here. It's my pleasure to welcome to the Sana Inspire Us series. Hope our children will definitely love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thanks for your welcome.
Okay, sir. I now hand over to the host for today is Mr. Saad Muhammad, who will be taking over from here. Over to you, Saad.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening to one and all, and welcome to Sana Inspire Us series with our honorable guest, Mr. Jerome Rajan. I am Saad of Class 11, your host for the day. It's my great pleasure to welcome today's guest of honor, Mr. Jerome Rajan, our correspondent Nurul Amin sir, our guide Abdurrahman sir, teachers, and my dear friends to an interesting session with an eminent personality. Let's start the session by listening to an absolutely beautiful nasheed by Ahil of grade 11.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة على النبي والسلام على رسول والأنبياء المرسلين كلهم مكرمون. Blessings be upon Nabi, peace be upon the messenger and the prophets who were sent, all of them were honored. Adam, Idris, Nuh, Salah, Ibrahim, Lut, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, Ayyub, Shuhayb, Musa, Harun, Dhul-Qib, Daud, Sulaiman, Ilyas, Al-Yas'a, Yunus, Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, والآخرة خاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى. نور قلوبنا يا الله وقلب رسولك يا الله. نور قلوبنا يا الله وقلب رسولك يا الله. جزاك الله.
Thank you, Ahil, for such a beautiful nasheed. Now let me call Adnan of Class 11 for the welcome speech. Adnan, the screen is yours. Kindly unmute your mic. Adnan. Adnan, kindly unmute your mic.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I take great pleasure in welcoming you all to this great session, with Mr. Jerome Rajan. I, Adnan, on behalf of Sana Model School, welcome an inspiring personality for today's session and wisdom. From them leads to the idea and thoughts that one day each one of us will use to provide back into this society. I would like to extend my gratitude to every teacher for the selfless service and dynamic support. We are always grateful to you. We have one such dedicated teacher in our today's session. It is a great honor for me to welcome Mr. Jerome Rajan, who is an inspiration for the teachers and as well as for the students too. We extend a warm welcome to you, sir. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to you all. Your presence makes us very happy. I once again welcome you, sir, and wish you a delightful time with us.
Thank you, Adnan. I now call Hanif of class 11 to introduce our guest of honor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening to one and all. It's my greatest pleasure to introduce our chief guest of the day, Mr. Jerome Rajan, who has 44 plus years of teaching experience and still has the pride of being a teacher. Mr. Jerome did his schooling at the St. Bede's High School and graduated from Loyola College. He worked as a teacher at the Don Bosco Matriculation School, Egmore, Chennai in June 1976. His main stream of teaching was biology, and in 1978, he began teaching German in addition to biology. Mr. Jerome took voluntary retirement and taught German exclusively at the Goethe University, Chennai, where he continued to be a part of the faculty. He has attended several workshops and seminars in Germany for effective teaching of German and visited schools and educational institutions in Germany and the USA in order to study the functioning of schools and other educational institutions. He was part of a team of authors for the production of textbooks for the Diploma in Teaching of German for the Indira Gandhi National Open University in 2012, in collaboration with the University of Vienna and the Goethe University and the Goethe Institute. To add on to the list of his career growth, he was also a counselor for the students of the diploma course of the Egmore, and even served as member and later chairman of the board for German in the Board of Higher Secondary Education for the government of Tamil Nadu. He is interested in traveling, has traveled to Southeast Asia, Europe, and North America. I now hand over the session to the host, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Hanif, for the amazing introduction of our guest. Words do two major things. They provide food for mind and create light for understanding and awareness. We all are here to interact with our guest and indeed to get influence through his words. Now, without any further ado, we will turn the time over to Mr. Jerome Rajan to know more about him, his profession, and then we'll move on to the questionnaire session by the students. Now, I request sir to share his thoughts and experience to us.
Dear Mr. Nurul Amin, correspondent, founder of Sana Model School, dear Madam Principal, dear Mr. Abdul Rahman, fellow teachers, and my dear friends. It is a specific honor to be invited to talk to a bunch of young people as a teacher. In the past, in the Inspirer series, which I had the privilege to look into before I came, most of you were exposed to different career options: medicine, engineering, business, etc., etc. And some of my fellow speakers gave you the incentives that are required to achieve your goals, to dream the impossible dream, to find avenues that are suitable to your abilities. Now I have to speak about the teacher. And I will briefly recount my beginnings as a teacher. Why I wanted to become a teacher. In the years as a school-going student, we had lovely teachers, and it was my desire to emulate some of them. This desire to emulate these teachers probably worked subconsciously in me, and soon after my graduation, I followed up with a course in education, a degree in education. Soon after that, I was asked to teach at the Don Bosco Matriculation Higher Secondary School, where I came across a bunch of young people full of energy, full of life, who wanted to achieve something. Way back in 1976, the classes were particularly small, maybe 35 to 40. The ambition, the goal, the intention was exceedingly high. And therefore, as a young man entering into the school, I was more or less forced to push myself to the limits in order to cater to the insatiable energy that these young people had. To begin with, I wanted to get some responses from you as to what you know about teaching. What do you, as a pupil, understand by the term teacher? Could anyone give me an answer? Of course, there is no one correct answer. There can be several answers, several ways of looking at it. So would it be possible for you to just unmute and give me an answer? Yes, Anil?
In my opinion, teaching is one of the more noble professions in when you compare it to other professions, because you're basically the backbone of every student's, basically the backbone of every child's education. So without teachers, without teachers being there to teach, there is no future for any child. So in my opinion, teaching is one of the more noble professions.
Yeah, true. Noble profession, right? But who is a teacher? Can anyone be a teacher?
Someone with a passion to teach. Passion to see other people learn and grow and achieve something.
Yeah. Any other characteristics?
No, I can't think of any.
Anyone else? Faisal?
Sir, teacher is the one who makes the difficult concept easier for students to understand.
Yeah. That is a definite quality. Is there anything else? Anyone else? Yeah?
What, sir?
Anyone else can tell me who a teacher is? Describe a teacher. What do you see a teacher as? Yes, Shay?
A teacher helps to acquire knowledge, sir.
Knowledge. So yes.
Teacher makes us to gain higher and higher.
Yes.
And teacher can inspire. Teacher can be an inspiration.
Teacher can be an inspiration. Yes.
Second mother.
Second mother. Yes.
So, teacher who's not only teaching about subject, who's teaching normally a social work also is also a teacher.
Yeah, very good.
Anyone who teaches good things.
Teaches good things, yes.
Teacher.
Yeah. One successful soul who creates thousands of such souls. Interesting.
Teacher is not a profession, it is attitude.
Yes.
Teacher is a person who imparts knowledge.
Imparts knowledge. One successful soul who creates thousands of such souls and guides them towards success. Make tough things easier. They are the ones who motivate us. Yeah, let me continue. I accept all your responses which speak of who a teacher is. Someone who imparts knowledge, one who comes into class and goes out of class after having discussed subjects, or one who makes tough things easier, one who does a specific syllabus inside the class and walks away, one who prepares students to face the examinations and helps them to secure excellent results, or like somebody else said, social work, or someone who organizes functions on a regular basis, be it the Independence Day or Republic Day or whatever other celebration. And then one of you said that the teacher is the second mother. Second mother. It's fantastic to hear that you have such high expectations of teachers. Now, teacher, in the first place, is supposed to bring out the best in you. When God created man, He did not create harmful units. God, the most beneficent, the most magnificent person, created only good things. So the teacher is supposed to bring out the best in you. As Swami Vivekananda says, education is the manifestation of the perfection that is already in man. Education is the manifestation of the perfection that is already in man. This is not an easy job. Yeah. If you don't bring about a good student, then you in turn produce a very uncomfortable and unsocial society. Abdul Rashid says, talented, excellent, adorable, charming, humble, encouraging, responsible person is a teacher. Fantastic. But as I said, teachers can either bring people up, motivate people, or at the same time destroy people. Therefore, teaching is a great responsibility, an immense responsibility. Therefore, whenever I see that young people speak of gratitude towards their teachers, I am overwhelmed with appreciation for such young people. Today, Adnan, when he spoke about gratitude to teachers. And that is something that all of us have to possess, not only towards our teachers, but anybody who gives something good to us. You know, today, teachers are not the happiest of people. The reasons are many and need to be discussed in a little detail. The challenges faced by teachers. What are the challenges? Today it is no more 30, 40 to a class. We have 50, 60 in a class. Secondly, the environments are highly competitive. All children want to be first in class, which is definitely not possible. The third point is that society does not give as much importance to teachers as it should. And there are excessive demands on the teachers from various quarters. From the government on the one hand, from the management on the second, from the parents on the third, from the families of the teachers on the fourth, from children on the fifth. And so the poor teacher stands in the middle, not knowing what to do. Sometimes completely confused with the state of affairs. And now, in addition, we have the pandemic, and there is no more the regular personalized class inside a classroom. We sit inside our drawing rooms and then listen to lectures with open ears and closed eyes, or open eyes and closed ears. And finally, the outcome is not really measurable. So the teacher's work is something that has to be greatly appreciated, and one has to be grateful to teachers who are in the present day striving day in and day out to give you the best that they can, considering the circumstances, considering the environment in which they are. So I'm sure that all of you young people at Sana Model School will realize the importance of the work that your teachers are doing, and consequently give them also the best. Hasim says to always try our best, encourage each other, achieve our goals, care for others, help those in needs, excite our minds, and reach for the stars. Very good, Hasim. Very interesting. Teacher, to always try our best. But is it possible for us to have an ideal teacher? Ideal teacher who is an embodiment of all these characteristics that we have spoken of? Is it possible? Yes or no? Or maybe? No response? Is it possible to have an ideal teacher who is capable of catering to all the needs of the present day student?
Sir, in my opinion, no, because every student has a different vision of what an ideal teacher is supposed to be. So then it's not possible for the teacher to be what every student envisions as a perfect teacher. However, in my opinion, a teacher can set a high standard in, like, can almost be ideal in every student's eyes, but not the best.
True. Anyone else? So I do agree with Malik, who says that it is impossible for us to find the ideal teacher. Because in the eyes of every people, yes?
It is impossible to find ideal teacher as every student have different thoughts and feelings and has a different goal, dreams and everything.
100%, yeah? 100%. What you say is perfectly right. Yeah? So I agree with you. But then, if everybody wants to become a doctor, engineer, lawyer, businessman, who will be the teacher? There must be some of you who want to take up teaching as a profession. No?
Even some engineers are teachers.
Yes? Engineers become teachers at a later point of time. Like, for instance, we have Sundar Pichai, who was a teacher, who was first an engineer, then a teacher, and then, of course, is now a businessman. But to be a full-time teacher, to give your life to teaching, it is difficult. I agree with all of you that being a teacher for a lifetime It's not an easy proposition. It's not easy. But it needs a little bit of willpower, a little bit of staying power, and a little bit of involvement. I suppose you understand what involvement is. The moment my student Abdul Rahman told me that I should address students of the Sana Model School, I didn't hesitate because I know that being among students is some great way of getting their appreciation and love. And that is what we all live for. We don't live for tons of money. We don't live for a Jaguar or a Bentley or whatever. We live for love. And that is exactly what I found most consoling about being a teacher. So if you, over the period of years before you, if you should be inspired to be a teacher, to give your life to teaching, then I suppose I would have achieved something by this short talk or discussion with you. So let's hope that the students of Sana Model School also produce valuable teachers, not just engineers, lawyers, businessmen, architects, etc., but also a couple of teachers who are in need of the day. Today we need good teachers. We need teachers who are dedicated. We need teachers who are ready to go the extra mile for their students. If we see the kind of turmoil that the country is going through, it's primarily because we as teachers, my generation, has failed. We haven't done enough. So I do hope that in the future at least, there will be dedicated and involved teachers. Do you have anything to say about this aspect of my talk? Anyone? Any questions?
And reconstructed. Oh. Yeah.
No, good. So now we go on to the next aspect that I wanted to discuss with you, and that is language. Language. Language is a means of communication. We need to communicate. We are social animals. We have to understand the ideas and thoughts of others. Yes? We need to understand the ideas and thoughts of others. And likewise, we have to also respond to the stimuli that are provided by these people to us. So learning a language and learning the language thoroughly is of great importance. I suppose you learn English in school as the first language, and then at home you speak either Tamil or Urdu, and in the school again you learn Arabic, and then perhaps other foreign languages like French or German or whatever. In today's world, whatever you do, you know that the world is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. I take the plane in Chennai at 1 o'clock in the night, and I land in Frankfurt the next morning at 7:30. It's tremendous. Then at 7:30 in the morning, I take off again and reach the United States maybe at midday for lunch or tea or dinner or whatever. So the world has become smaller and smaller and smaller, and in a few hours, you reach another destination far away from home. So if you land, let's say, in France or Germany, you're very hungry, then you need to get some food. You have to go to the cafe, the restaurant, and order for something. Because today, people would say English would be sufficient, but it's not always. God forbid, somebody gets sick. He has to explain to the local doctor in the local language what exactly is wrong with him or her. And one has to communicate correctly. So you try to tell the person that you are having a headache with the usual gesture, headache this way. The German will understand it as an insult. He'll say, oh, you're saying that I am brainless. This is what happens if we don't learn languages. So it is very important that we have to learn whatever language we are learning thoroughly, be able to comprehend and to help others to communicate the language. What else does a language do? Any ideas from you? Yes?
Language can, knowing more languages can help us communicate with different people from different cultures, by which we can obtain more language, more, I don't know, we can obtain more knowledge of medicine, more knowledge of food, more knowledge of their culture.
Yes.
So on.
How does that help us to know more about their culture?
Because humans have always had a passion for learning new things and gaining knowledge, and not necessarily their culture, but maybe, or at in today's world when everything is connected, there really isn't that much obscure information. But maybe a few hundred years back, when the world wasn't connected, then traveling to new lands, it would have been extremely difficult to communicate, and maybe the other land would have had a cure for some disease which some other land didn't have. So in that case, language becomes essential in order for knowledge to be shared with children.
Yeah.
So maybe in today's world, when everything is so interconnected, the importance of language is downplayed, but it still remains extremely important to communicate and learn things which may not necessarily be available in a certain language.
Yeah, I can just ask you another question, Anil.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to speak to me in your mother tongue better or in English better?
To you, I would like to speak better, to speak in English.
In English.
Because
which of the languages do you prefer, your mother tongue or English?
My mother tongue.
mother tongue. Natural. Yeah. It is quite natural that each of us loves to speak in his or her own mother tongue. And this is what happens when we learn a language and we communicate to another person in his mother tongue. We speak to his or her heart. Whereas, when we speak to a person in a medium like English or Hindi or Tamil, which may not be my mother tongue, what happens is we speak only to the mind. It's only mind to mind conversation. But the heart to heart conversation occurs when we speak in the mother tongue of the other person. I suppose you are able to understand what I am saying. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The culture of that particular country, of that particular group, is also very, very important to us. We know how somebody behaves or how somebody misbehaves. These aspects of understanding the culture help us greatly in all possible aspects of life, let alone just knowing more things. Like somebody says here, Rajan says, we can study more things in other languages. Yeah, of course. Each language has its own culture, its own history, its own valuable books, and so on and so forth. So from each of these groups, we should be able to get the best out of it, and that is what is great about language and language learning. So I exhort all of you, like for instance, if you want to get a beautiful, wonderful car, then you would only think of Germany to get yourself a Mercedes-Benz or a Porsche or a Volkswagen or something like that. On the other hand, if you were to be interested in a perfume, you would be thinking of France. Chocolates, you would be thinking of Switzerland. Toys, Switzerland, Japan, China, whichever other place. So, knowing a language helps us to increase our opportunities in various ways. And the ability to communicate is very, 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 very important today. It doesn't matter if you have got 99% or 100% in your board examinations. But if you are not able to tell the person in front of you what you need, what you want, then there is no value to your 100% in the board exam. Okay? So, when we need to talk, when we need to express ourselves, we have to be able to express ourselves so that the other people understand. Yeah? Mode of communication to other people is very important. If you are not able to communicate what you want to the other person, then the language has had no value at all. So I exhort all of you to learn as many languages as possible. Okay? But whatever you learn, it must be learned thoroughly. Okay? It must be learned thoroughly. Thorough learning of a language is very important. From my point of view, I'll just give you my own example. I started learning German when I just finished school, way back in '69. And thereafter, I forgot it for a little while. Then again I started learning, and then suddenly, out of the blue, we had this higher secondary in the school, and consequently I started teaching German too in 1978. Now, in those days, it used to be a hobby thing to do, to learn languages. And so I learned German for no specific reason. Once I started learning German, I was interested. I continued and continued and continued, and then I started teaching German. And then, fortunately for me, this teaching of German helped me to spend months, sometimes years in Germany also. And that gave me, even today, I continue with my German teaching. And that is an opportunity that nobody would have dreamt of even when I started learning German. So you never know when languages help you. So I exhort all of you to learn as many languages as possible. Yeah? Any questions? Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Before we go further, I would request the students to.
I have one more part. Yeah? Any questions on this part? No? So we go on to the third part. Third part of my talk is about biology. Because I'm both a language as well as a biology teacher. What is biology? All of you know. I don't have to tell you. It is a life science. It deals with the biosphere. It deals with us, human beings, plants, animals, visible human beings, visible beings, and invisible beings also. We know now that there are several challenges. The first is the ecological challenge. The most spoken of aspect in ecology today is global warming. Global warming. Everybody is talking about it, but nobody knows what to do about it. The second is carbon footprint. Global warming, carbon footprint. The third, what we are all facing, because of which we are doing these video conferences, the viruses. Viruses. Now, when we talk about these aspects of life, these aspects are all determined by biology, not by computer science, not by information technology, not by physics, not by chemistry, but by biology. So, thorough knowledge of biology is also equally important. Let us take a simple instance where you have distinguished between who has got COVID and who hasn't got. It's very difficult because there are asymptomatic cases. So everybody is rushing day in and day out in the laboratories to find a cure or a vaccine for COVID. This is with reference to disease. Where did this COVID come from? Any ideas? Don't tell me China. Where did COVID come from? COVID-19 come from? Nobody?
Sir, came from
Sir, from Wuhan, sir.
Wuhan, yes, yeah. But
from a bat snake.
from a bat, yeah. Why did it get into a bat? So, years ago, decades ago, we had a very great researcher by the name of Hargobind Khurana. He was born in India but lived in the United States, and he spoke about recombinant DNA technology. And he was able to find out the method of synthesis of proteins. Now that was in the year 1970, 70, 68, 70, around that time. After that, there has been so much research, and that research has somewhere led to the production of unwanted strains of DNA and RNA. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, ribonucleic acid. Hope you've learned all that in class. Now this RNA, in the case of the COVID virus, is covered by a fat layer.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Hello?
Not by a fat layer.
Hello,
And it's supposed to have originated from bats.
Hello?
So this intermediate host, namely the bat, has to be
Hello? Hello,
destroyed.
Hello,
Likewise, we have other kinds of things which we speak of as preventive medicine. I don't know if you remember what Dr. Vijay Nambi said about heart attacks. And he was particularly involved in the process of diagnosis and prevention of heart attack and management of heart attack. So we need to know biology. If you become a father, when you become a father, which is inevitable, you must have children. At that time, you will have to be able to recognize the needs, the biological needs of the child. So one has to necessarily learn biology, and biology is an important aspect of our day-to-day life today. Biotechnology, management of disease, and production of food. As you can see, there is an explosion of population. Consequently, the world has more and more mouths to feed. You can't feed these poor people with sodium chloride or magnesium chloride. You need to definitely get them food. And where does the food come from? The food comes from the paddy fields, from the wheat fields, from the orchards. We have to be able to produce as much as possible to feed the billions of people on earth. How can we do it? Only with a mastery of biology. And we have to produce the best kind of food which has very high nutrients or nutritious value. And we have to also make sure that these plants do not take centuries to grow and yield fruit. We also have to make sure that this farming is organic farming, in the sense that there is enough of good food available. It is free from pesticide, free from all kinds of artificial manures. So these are the three aspects that I want to talk to you about today, namely, who is a teacher, why languages, and why biology. I'll stop here and I'll let you in with any questions that may still linger in your minds about these topics. And then perhaps, in case you need anything more, should be able to talk to you sometime later whenever possible. You can always write to me through your principal. Okay? Good. Any topics, any questions?
Thank you, sir. Before we go, I would request the students to enter your questions and comments in the chat box. If you don't rather ask in person, you can type your name to indicate that you have a question. Once your name is called out, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
There's a question about how to become a teacher. Any tips to learn and gain? Now, whatever you learn as a student will help you to become a teacher. There is no specific, it's only that you have to have the goal and the zeal and the interest to teach. And that's what will make you a teacher. You should have a love for children, love for the subject that you have learned, and you should have excellent communication skills. These are things that you can develop over a period of time. And responsibilities also. Yes. Yes?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Lisa. Cindy,
I have a question.
Yep, please, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
What are some everyday challenges you face in your profession?
There are several challenges, sir. If I start to speak of them, I will not be finished even after the year is over. The challenges are extreme, in the sense that first, I had to deal with young people who are full of energy, enthusiastic, and who had an insatiable appetite for knowledge. That was Don Bosco School. There may have been state ranks, etc. in the school, and they may have been also the last rank, but there was never a failure. Even if people failed in the examinations as such, they were all successes in life. So the amount of stress that one had during my stay as a teacher, even today I continue to be a teacher, but the stress is something that is extraordinary. The other challenge is that, several of them, I just mentioned the second one also. The other challenge is that you have to keep updating yourself. We should be a constant learner. Thirdly, you will make sure that you don't hurt anyone. Never hurt anyone. You should be very, very calm, cheerful, enjoy, have fun, and provide learning with fun.
Thank you, sir. Here we have
Yes.
Kindly unmute your mic.
Yes.
Ashfaq.
So, what gives you more interest in learning and teaching German?
What made me interested, I told you, in the beginning it was just a hobby that was happening. Subsequently, the German culture in the first place, and the German literature in the second place, like Goethe, Schiller, etc., were very, very appealing to me. Apart from the fact that there have been great German philosophers like Nietzsche, Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, all of them psychologists also, were very, very inspiring. Okay, and so I was interested in learning, and I still continue to learn German. I haven't stopped.
Thank you, sir. We have another question from Faisal. Faisal, kindly unmute your.
Sir, I'm Faisal of class 9.
Yes.
In future generations, robots will be teachers. Can you highlight on this, sir?
I do not think that is going to be a possibility. Although I believe in modern science and scientific methods like what we are doing right now, online teaching, online classes, etc. No robot can replace a human being. And when we have such artificial intelligence as it's called, I think we will not be human beings anymore. The human being has got a sixth sense, namely common sense, the ability to reason, the ability to say what is right and what is wrong, whereas these mechanical contraptions can never be trained to be human. So I believe that such mechanical contraptions can never ever replace the work of a teacher 100%. Maybe 5%, 10%, possible, but cannot replace a teacher.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So, before we wind up the session, few motivational words for us.
The one good thing that I believe, if you go around in places, you'll find that there is a queue for things that are free. Anything that comes free, people will be standing in a queue. But there is one thing which is given free, and nobody wants it, and that is advice. You tell people, do this, do that, it never happens. Okay? It has to come from within. If you want to do something, you have to do it because you want to do it. Okay? And this is very important for all of us, that we learn, like Socrates said in those days, know thyself. Know thyself. That means go into yourself, find out what you need, what you want to become. Yeah, and that is the best way in which you can achieve the success that you want to achieve. Otherwise, there is no other way.
Thank you, sir. That was indeed motivating. Your words have influenced us a lot, and we will continue to serve as a thread forward in our life journey. To propose the vote of thanks, I would like to call Yusuf of class 11.
Good evening to one and all. Honorable guests, teachers, and my dear friends. It is my pleasant duty to propose a vote of thanks. I, Yusuf, on behalf of Sana Model School, extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty. On my own behalf, I extend a very hearty vote of thanks to the guest of honor, Mr. Jerome Rajan, for sparing his valuable time with us this evening. I thank our esteemed guest for the words of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us. I once again extend a special thanks to you for being with us today and guiding us through your knowledge. Thanks a lot to one and all directly or indirectly involved in this session. Thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to just thank your correspondent, your principal, Mr. Abdul Rahman, and all of you for having been so patient listening to me. I thank you for the opportunity that I got to speak to you. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank you, sir, for making time in your busy schedule to join us this day. It's been my pleasure to host this session and I wish all a pleasant day. Thank you once again, sir.
Jerome sir, actually we could not do another hour session with only question and answers because we only heard you, but we students wants to ask a lot of questions and spend time with you. Hope we will have that again as a next session where we will talk about question and answers only.
Oh yes, sure.
Thank you
My
so much.
pleasure.
So, and now I would like to thank Sabira Miss and her team to arrange this session and work with the students to do a wonderful session. Thank you so much, and the management for giving us the opportunity. And also, I would like to the management has given a certificate which I would like to show it on the screen for you, Jerome sir. Just a moment. The certificate will be online, and I will send it to you on WhatsApp too.
Okay.
Just hold on a second, please. It's just downloading. I'm sorry, Jerome sir, it's taking time. I will send it to you on your WhatsApp, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
It's come. Just a moment.
Do you want me to share it, sir?
Yes, yes, miss. Yeah, got it, sir.
Yeah.
Miss, you would like to
Thank
add
you
some
very
words
much.
on this?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, I'm Dr. Khalil.
Yeah.
Jerome sir, this is Dr. Khalil, my classmate. He's an ophthalmologist.
Yeah. The ophthalmologist.
His 4 children also are studying in Sana.
Okay.
Go ahead, Khalil sir. Dr. Khalil, are you with us? I think we have lost him.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Khalil.
I know the ophthalmologist in Egmore, Casamigna Road.
Yes, sir.
How can I forget?
Your student, sir. Your botany student.
Yeah.
And you're my class teacher too. In 11th. How is all?
Fine. I'm doing well. Yeah.
Really nice to see you, sir.
Yeah. Nice to be with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have I changed a lot?
No, not at all. Exactly the same.
So I hope you have taught his brothers also, Shakil Bhai and Jamil Bhai.
Yeah, definitely. Shakil is in America, no?
Yes, sir, exactly. And
Okay,
Jamil is
I'm keeping track of everything, Abdul.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Very good, sir. So we will have you again, inshallah, because I missed the question and answers part, which is very entertaining, which should supposed to be really good. So within a couple of weeks, inshallah. All the best. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Khuda Hafiz.
हो जरा पैसा है मेरा पैसा है कितना है ऐसे